Yeah, hey, what's going on, guys? Sean here, Live in the Corporate Pilot Life. I see a few of you guys have came in before it even started. What's going on, guys? I see we have somebody in here, Waukesha Pilot. I heard there was an accident over there at you guys' airport 2 or 3 days ago. Hope everybody was good over there. I didn't read too much about it, but they had a runway closure, I guess. I got an email the other day, so hopefully everybody was good on that accident. Let's see here. Terrence, good to see you. First time catching one live. Good to see you, sir. A few other guys in here I'm seeing. So let's see here. If you are not catching this live, you guys are watching this after the fact, and you want to get notifications of the live videos, check out the website, livecpl.com. If you subscribe to that, I will send out emails that we're doing a live video about a day in advance. So I think I've got a couple thousand of you guys that get those emails. So hopefully the ones that are here right now live saw that. And that's why you guys are seeing it. Let's see, San Diego, Chris, nice. Let's see, where are you guys from? UK. Isn't it getting late over there? I guess it's not too bad over there. Jackson Hole. I wish I was in Jackson Hole right now. I bet the weather's gorgeous up there. DFW was there last week, actually. Belgium. Wow, nice. Can I take your plane for a spin? They don't even let me take it for a spin. They only tell me when to take it out. So let's see here. Chicago, Northern Illinois, New Hampshire, Pensacola, Indianapolis, I think. Nice. All right. We got people coming in from all over the place. New Brunswick. From work, Ben. Sorry, buddy. Flagler Beach. Haven't been there in a little while. All right. France. Wow. Wish I was in France too. Let's see. Have I ever flown into Puerto Rico? Yes, several times. Been into Puerto Rico. We were there a couple months ago, something like that. St. Louis. Hey, I was just in St. Louis this week. Sorry I missed you when I was there. Just got one night over there. Have I ever had a moment when I was completely scared? Yes. It's usually the person I'm flying with. So sorry. Let's see here. We got people from all over. A lot of Texas people I'm seeing in here, actually. That's good to know. Let's see here. All right. A couple things I want to run through with you guys, and then I'm going to answer a bunch of questions. So I'll try and keep up with the questions as they're scrolling. I'm seeing them coming through like crazy over here. Like I said, if you guys are not seeing this live, check out the website, livecpl.com. Sign up on there, and I'll send you guys out notifications before I do a live video. I think I'm going to do one next weekend. If things go as planned, I think I'm going to be in Europe next week, maybe later this week. And if that happens, I'll try and get a live video from Europe. I'm not sure if it's going to happen yet. Not really sure where we're going, but we'll see if it happens. So yeah, sign up on the website, and I'll let you know for sure. Let's see here. Speaking of the website, I've been getting a lot of pictures, or not a lot, but several pictures from people wearing the CPL swag all over the world, fan pictures, if you will. And so I'm thinking about doing a fan pics page on the website. So I hope that's something you guys might be interested in. If you have got some pictures of some interesting places wearing your CPL swag, or even not, just pictures you want to throw out there, feel free to send them to me, corporatepilotlife@gmail.com. And make sure you put in there, that I have your permission to use your picture on the website. I don't want to get in trouble for using somebody's picture without their permission or something like that. So yeah, send me some pictures over there. I'd love to see those, and I'd like to build up a little bit of a page with some random pictures of you guys on there as well. And speaking of the merchandise, I sent this out in the notification yesterday to those of you that got it. I am getting a little bit low on a few of the sizes and colors of shirts and hats. I can't remember which ones they are right now that they're a little low. But if you've been thinking about getting an order in, I would get that in sooner than later, because I'm getting a little bit low, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to get more stock in. Just FYI. Again, livecpl.com. You can go over there, check it out, pick up your colors and sizes. I've had a lot of really positive responses on the hats and the shirts, the material quality. I felt like I went really good quality on this stuff, and so far everybody seems to be real happy with it. So hopefully that continues. Let's see. Headset. One thing you guys have been asking me about, I have mentioned previously that I've not been really super excited about the Telex headset that I've been wearing. It works okay, but it's not great. The seal around the ear doesn't work real well, so it kind of lets noise in around the earpieces, and it gets a little annoying. And that's part of the reason, the volume issue that you guys have been having, where the ATC is a little too loud, because I can't get the adjustment right. And I think it was because of the headset. So I think we have the headset problem fixed. When I was at Sun and Fun a couple months ago, I went over to David Clark's booth, and I've been really liking the David Clark Pro X headset. I got to borrow a friend's for like 10 minutes a while back. You guys saw me fly with him from Bermuda to New Jersey, I think. He let me borrow his, and I wore it for like 10 minutes, and it was really comfortable. The audio quality was really good, so I wanted to pick one of those up. Went over to David Clark's booth at Sun and Fun, talked to him. They said they have a DC Pro X2 coming out sometime in the next month or so at that point. So I decided I'm going to hold off, and I'm going to see when that one comes out. Came out a couple of weeks ago, so I reached out to David Clark, chatted with their marketing guy, and he actually sent me one, and I have it right here, and it works so well, guys. I used it on this past week's trip. I flew the Hawker around, didn't get any video footage from that trip, but I was using the headset on all the flights, and it works so good. The A&R on it is really, really good. They call it a hybrid A&R or something like that. I'm not sure what that means, but what I do know is it works really well. And it also has Bluetooth capability, so I was able to hook my phone up to it. It does have the battery pack, so that's the only downside really that I've seen is you have to keep the batteries running. But yeah, I was able to hook my phone up to it, listen to music while I was flying on the en route part, and it works really well. So if you guys are looking for a new headset, you jet guys out there, it works really well. I've heard of people using them in props, but they are not the full over-ear part. They're the on-ear design, so it actually rests on top of your ear, not all the way around your ear. So I have a feeling that the A&R may not be quite good enough for props, but I can't speak for that. So anyway, been very happy about that. Thank you to David Clark for sending it over to me. It's been phenomenal. I will let you guys know as I continue to use it if I have any issues, but so far, been great. Yeah, so the other new item that I mentioned a few weeks ago to you guys was I got a new camera. This was, I was using it at the time, so I couldn't show it to you guys, but here is the new camera, Sony A7 III. This was pretty much exclusively thanks to the Patreon support that I get from you guys. I was able to save up and purchase this camera. It will be going with me, obviously, to Europe this week, and I'm going to be taking some great footage, both video and photo, so stand by for that. But the camera has been phenomenal as well. I did a lot of research trying to figure out the best one to get, and that one seems to be the case. So yeah, been very pleased with it. I'm gonna have to open up my my lens collection, I think, and start getting some new lenses so I can do some more close-in shots and things like that. But it's on the way. So I'm still learning to use it, by the way. I don't know how to use it nearly as well as some of you guys I'm sure do, but I'm getting there. So stand by for some footage coming in on that. Let's see here. Somebody says, Phew, I thought you were shutting down. Nope, not shutting the doors. Not yet. Come on. We're going to keep this thing going. Let's see. I'm going to answer a couple of random questions I see here. When landing and light on fuel, does it physically feel lighter and easier to control? It doesn't. I don't know that I would say it feels lighter or easier to control, but when we are light on fuel, you can definitely tell it's more responsive, especially on the ground. To the power changes, but I don't know that you can really feel it. It's definitely a slower speed on approach, which you can definitely notice, but I don't know that I can really tell a difference when it's really light on fuel. Let's see here. Oh, I forgot. I have a question that I got emailed to me last night. One of our viewers, I think his name was Wayne, if I remember correctly, said he wasn't going to be able to make the live today, but he wanted a question answered. And his question was, is it possible to fly these airplanes without the FMS? Say if you wanted to just take off and fly a visual pattern or something like that. And the answer is yes. It's still an airplane if you want to fly without using the FMS. The G4 is a little more automation dependent, if you will. The Hawker is a little less automation dependent, but it's still very dependent on the FMS. But at the end of the day, if you wanted to just take off and go fly without any of that on, you could do it. It would certainly fly, but the downside is you don't get your performance computer information. So things like your V speeds, your V1, your VR speeds, things like that. You're going to have to manually compute those from the book, or figure it out on your own, or just feel it, I guess. I don't know. But so yeah, we don't really operate without the FMS working, but physically it could be done. You could take off and fly, just manual throttles, and you couldn't really. I guess you could use the autopilot without the FMS, but if you we're going totally without automation, you could just hand fly it all the way around, all you want, VFR kind of thing. It could certainly be done. So I hope that answers your question. Again, I think your name was Wayne, but if not, I apologize. So Let's see here. What kind of questions do we have popping up? Somebody's asking, oh, Nils asking if Brian really puts his seat that far forward. I think it just looks that way from the camera angle, but I couldn't tell you. I think he's a little shorter than I am, so he may need a little closer than I usually fly. But I don't think it's by very much. Everybody has a different seating preference on where they like to be. I like to be a little farther down and back, I guess, but some people like to be really up close. I've noticed Gus likes to keep the rudder pedals really close to him. He flies with his feet way up close. I can't operate that way, but he does it well. So yeah, everybody has a different preference on that, I guess. Let's see here. Bob asks me, why do I fly? That's a good question. I don't know. My wife asks me that all the time. The reason I got into this, to answer your question, Bob, a little better, is I got into this for the travel aspect of it. I love to see the world. I love to go to random different places and explore the world. And the best part about my job is I get to do it on someone else's dime. I don't have to pay for any of it. So that's really the big perk for me. But I do love to fly as well. I love hand flying the airplane. I love being in the airplane. I'm starting to feel like I'm getting pretty good at it. So yeah, that's the big thing for me, though, getting to see the world. So let's see here. Steve is asking if I've been swapping between the Hawker and the G4 frequently, if at all. Yes, I have. I go back and forth. It seems to be about a week on one airplane, and then I get a few days off, and then maybe a week on the next airplane. Like I said, I was flying this whole past week. That was on the Hawker, and then I'll be going over to Europe, hopefully, and that will be on the Gulfstream. So when I get back, I'm assuming I'll be on the Hawker again, but wherever they need me is what I fly. So yeah, I do swap back and forth, and it works out pretty well so far. When I first started flying with John, that's exactly what we were doing. John and I were both flying the Hawker and the Gulfstream G4 for that company, and we would fly both of them in one day. Sometimes we would fly the Gulfstream somewhere, get off of it, jump in the Hawker, and then go fly somewhere else. And it's not terribly difficult. They're very different airplanes, but they have their own situation. So you get into one and you kind of feel at home in it, and you figure out where you're at really fast. So not an issue to swap back and forth for us. Let's see here. Big D is asking, do you think you can land a commercial airliner if the emergency presented itself to you? Probably. I hope it never becomes an issue where I have to, but I guess if I really had to, I could probably figure out how to get it on the ground if I really had to. But I would love to go get in a simulator, actually, for a 7.3 or an Airbus or something like that, and see how I would act in it. That would be kind of cool, actually. So if anybody out there's got 7.3 simulator access, let me know. I'm gonna go check it out, and we'll see how I do. But until then, I don't know to answer your question. But I can certainly give it a go. I'd try rather than sitting in the back and just let everything happen. That's for sure. So let's see here. Somebody in Palm Bay, Florida. Haven't been there in a little while. Let's see. At what model level does the Hawker add auto throttle? As far as I know, none of them do. None of the Hawkers that I fly have auto throttles. The Hawker 1000 is a different type. I don't think it has auto throttles either. The Hawker 4000 may, but I don't know on that one. Somebody that flies the Hawker 4000 will have to jump in there and help us out. But I don't think any of them have auto throttle. So if anybody out there knows, let me know. So how much does a simulator cost per hour? I have absolutely no idea. I think that depends on the simulator type. My understanding is like the G550 simulator runs a lot more expensive because it's newer. They're still paying for the R&D on it, whereas the G4, G2, G3 simulators are far less expensive. So as far as dollar amount, I really have no idea to help you out on that one. So let's see here. Somebody's telling me that I can land a 7.3 for sure. So I hope so. That would be kind of cool, but maybe someday we'll get to find out. Is it harder to fly without the auto throttles? I wouldn't say it's harder to fly. It's just you got to remember to do it. That's my big problem is whenever I fly the G4 for a long time, I get used to having those auto throttles, and it really spoils you. And then you jump in the Hawker and you forget. It always bites me right after takeoff. I forget to reach up there and pull them back for climb power, and I always remember it very quickly, but it's not the first thing in my head. So, and that's also when I was flying the G4 simulator for a long time in Dallas. That was always the one thing that would bite people as well on single engine situations. The G4, the auto throttles do not work in single engine situations. So people would get so used to having those, and then when we would do a single engine scenario, they forget that they don't have it, forget to use the power, and they stall the airplane out in the simulator. So that's definitely an issue, something that us pilots have to really stay ahead of, is making sure to keep an eye on your airspeed when you're in single engine situation in a G4, because you don't have auto throttles. So let's see here. Rotary wing. I have never flown anything rotary. I would like to. I've never been in a helicopter, never even flown in one as a passenger. So maybe someday I'll get in a helicopter. That would be kind of cool, but not yet. I've got a few friends that operate helicopters around the country, and they've offered to take me up flying at some point. Just hasn't happened yet. So we shall see. Let's see here. How did you get to fly corporate jets after getting your commercial license? Let's see here. I've mentioned that one a little before. When I first started flying airplanes, I did all my flight instructor stuff. I built almost 3,000 hours of total flight time, I think 2,500, something like that. And then I worked for flight safety for a little while in the simulators, and that let me develop some skills in the jets without actually working for a jet company. And then that's when John hired me out of the simulators, and I started flying the corporate jets from there. And that's been almost 10 years ago, I guess 9 years ago, something like that. So time flies. Let's see here. Somebody's asking, in the last vlog, there was an emergency beacon. Did you ever find out what it was? I did not. So I'm sorry. We did have an ELT going off in one of the recent videos, and I'm not sure what that scenario was. So I can't help you out for that one. So what does APR stand for? I'm going to do a tech video on this one, show you guys this whole thing. But APR is automatic power reserve. And it's basically when we're taking off the Hawker, if we lose an engine, the APR will automatically turn on and give you just a little extra power on the good engine to help you escape the ground, help you to climb out, if you will. So that's something that we always do a test to make sure it's working properly. And it's just a little something about the Hawker that gives you a little extra power if you lose an engine. And it detects that based on a power split. So if it detects a difference in power between the two engines, it will turn on and allow you to have a little extra power. So like I said, I'll do a tech video on that for you guys sometime and show it to you. What is your favorite approach? My favorite approach that I have never done is Innsbruck. I want to go to Innsbruck so bad to go check that out. I've done the approach in the simulator several times, and I really, really want to go to Innsbruck. So maybe someday I'll get somebody that'll pay for a flight over to Innsbruck and let me fly it. But as of right now, I haven't done it. Of the approaches that I have done, Aspen is always really cool. I mean, just going in there is exciting. You're coming in really steep, couple thousand feet a minute to get down into that little bowl where Aspen sits. So that one's always really cool. Let's see here. Would you consider a sponsor from someone like Flight Safety to do a 737 simulator video, maybe for Tech Tuesday? Absolutely. I would love to do that. So if anybody out there wants to put me in a simulator, let me record it for a change, that would be phenomenal. Every time I've gone to Flight Safety or CAE, they don't let us record anything. So that's something I've been trying to get to happen, where I can make a video in the simulator, but they're very tight on their security policies, where they don't let us bring into the building, even not even in the classrooms. So yeah, so far I haven't been able to do that, but maybe someday I can do that. Let's see, that cow, its eyes move. Jerry, the cow's eyes did not move, and you told me that you were going to be in meetings all day. I didn't think you were going to be here. If the cow's eyes did move, we got problems. So do I know if all Cirrus Vision jets are grounded? I didn't even know they were, to be honest. I didn't know that that was the case. So I'll have to reach out to Citation Max. He's not in the Cirrus anymore, but he may know something about it. I'll send him a little text later on and see if he knows something about that. But I didn't know the Cirruses were grounded. So sorry, can't help you out on that one. Do the clients you fly tip the crew? Not very often. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, but it varies by one client to another. So it's certainly not expected for tips in our industry, but every now and then someone will. So let's see here. Socks. Yeah, no socks yet. I'm thinking about getting some crazy socks going on, but hasn't happened yet. So uh, any interest in stunt flying? I did a little bit of aerobatic flying in college, and that was a lot of fun. So I was part of this experimental program or something like that. I forget what they called it, where they had like 20 students and they split us in half. And they took 10 students and they put us into a simulator or a flight training device. It was just computer-based simulator program, and they taught us upset training and all sorts of aerobatic maneuvers and things like that. And then they took the other 10 students and basically gave them the semester off. They let them just not come to class. And then at the end of the semester, they took all 20 students and put us actually into an aerobatic airplane, took us up flying and put us into some crazy situations like inverted, just really weird upsets. And they compared to see how well the training that they gave us, even just on a basic computer system, how well that worked. And it turned out it worked really well. Those of us that got the training for a couple months did much better, obviously, than the ones that didn't. So I'm not sure what they ever did with that program, but it was kind of cool. So it was neat to learn a lot of that aerobatic stuff. And then I got to go out and do a little fun flying in a few different aerobatic airplanes afterwards. So very cool, very fun. Have I ever landed in Jackson Hole? I have several times. Been there in the summertime and the wintertime. John Francine and I think, went there 2 years ago, and we had a blast in Jackson Hole for winter. We rented some jet skis, and we went out in the middle of nowhere, and we took jet skis. I'm sorry, not jet skis, snowmobiles. And we took these snowmobiles way out in the middle of the woods, and we got to see all kinds of moose and wolves and elk and all kinds of stuff running around out there. So Jackson Hole, highly recommend that place. Very cool. Which jet do I like better, the G4 or the Hawker? There's no nice way to say it, but I love the G4. I've got a lot more experience in the G4. I'm always going to be partial to the Gulfstream family. So the Hawker is nice. There's nothing wrong with it by any means. Great airplane, but I'm definitely a Gulfstream fan. So how much does a Gulfstream cost? I don't know. I can tell you that one, Zach. And it depends on which Gulfstream you're talking about. If you're looking at an older Gulfstream G4, you can get them down in the 5 million range. But if you want a brand new 650, you're looking at $70 million, something like that. Ballparking it, of course, but something like that. Let's see here. Somebody saying that they believe Cirrus was having similar issues to the 737. Oh, that's kind of cool. Didn't know that. So, like I said, I'll have to reach out and see if I can get some information on that. But yeah, interesting. So, any chance you will be flying for an airline in the future? I'm not going to say never, because I don't like using those never and always words, but very low chance that I'll go to an airline, to be honest. I really like the corporate side of things. It's more interesting to me. The airlines, I've got a lot of friends in airlines and they enjoy it, but it just seems like more of a job. Where flying corporate is more of a lifestyle. I get to go travel to all these fun places. Like I said, hopefully next year or next week, I'm going to spend 6 or 8 days in Europe at a few different places, possibly. Just get to go explore. So that's what I enjoy about the corporate side of it a little bit more. And it's definitely more interactive with the passengers, where airlines, you very seldom interact with the pilots. What I do is I definitely interact more so with the passengers, get to meet these people and, interact in some level anyway. So let's see here. Steve's asking, what do I prefer, the British Ramhorn style yoke or the typical U-shaped yoke? I've always, I've definitely used the Gulfstream a lot more, the traditional yoke on that. But the Ramhorn style is actually very comfortable to use. It's not, it seems like it would be awkward, but it's really not. It's nice to use. I don't know that I can say I like one any more than the other, but I am more used to the Gulfstream just because I have more experience in it. And it's just more what I've been doing, I guess. But both are great. Nothing wrong with them at all. So let's see here. Mike, do you still talk to John? I have not talked to John in quite some time now, so I can't really tell you what he's up to. But yeah, I haven't kept up with him. Let's see here. Somebody else saying AOA sensor on the Cirrus. So it seems that that may be the case. So hopefully they get that figured out. That's a bad situation. So yeah. Can we follow your movements in Europe? I don't know that I can really do a whole lot on that. I think the airplane that I'm going to be flying does not allow recording on the airplane. So unfortunately, if it's on the airplane, I think it will be. I can't record any video of the flying part, but I will do some video while I'm there. Obviously, I'll definitely shoot some travel footage, if you will, and I'll try and do a live video while I'm over there as well. So. If I get somewhere that I know some of you guys live at, I'll try and let you guys know where we're at, and we can possibly do a meetup. So I will let you guys know on that. Let's see here. Does your family ever join you on any of your flights? Every now and then I get to do a flight where it's either an empty flight or sometimes we have owner flights where the owners say, hey, bring your family, something like that. Doesn't happen very often, maybe once a year or so I get to bring the family. It's always hard with the kids. You always feel uncomfortable when you've got little kids and, they're crying back there. You don't want the owners to have to deal with your kids. But when it's an empty flight, then yeah, we can sometimes take our kids and family with us on a little mini vacation, but not very often. Let's see here. Side stick or yoke? Cough, cough, Airbus or Boeing. I've never used a side stick, so I really can't speak on that. The new Gulfstreams, the 500 and 600, have the side stick, and I really want to try it. I sat in the 600 a few months ago, as some of you guys probably saw. Really cool. It was really nicely done. I want to try it, just haven't had the chance yet. So as far as having a good information and opinion on it, I can't help you out on that because I just don't know. But maybe someday I'll get to, and you guys will hopefully come along to check it out. So. Any chance I'll be flying Alerion's Falcon or Citation? Hasn't been discussed, but I'm not going to say no because I don't know. It's possible. Right now, I'm pretty busy between the Gulfstream and the Hawker, so there's not really a need for me to change to the Falcon or the Citation, but I'm not going to rule it out. If for some reason there becomes a need, then sure, I got no problem jumping to either the Falcon or the Citation programs. I did sit in our Citation 10 about a week ago. First time I ever got in a Citation 10. And wow, the cockpit is tight in that thing. I had no idea it was such a tight cockpit. The Hawker feels like a 747 cockpit compared to that Citation 10. It's a good airplane from what I know about it. It's obviously a very fast airplane, but just very tight cockpit. So maybe someday I'm small enough to where it wouldn't be a big deal for me, I guess. But I could see that being uncomfortable for some people. So. Let's see here. Patrick, any plans to fly to the Houston area? I was actually there last week. I'm sorry I missed you. I was there for all of about 2 hours. We had to come in for a meeting or something like that, and then we were right back out. But so yeah, sorry I missed you, but I don't have any plans going forward to Houston as far as I know, but you never know. With this industry, I could be there tomorrow for all I know. Probably not because I'm still on days off. So. Let's see here. How many hours total before you're 95% confident about landing? Hoping it's not 4 figures. No, it wasn't 4 figures. Before I was really confident flying the single engine props and things like that, I probably had, I don't know, 150 to 200 hours before I was confident where I would take the airplane out by myself, not worrying about it. In most situations, obviously you get your private somewhere around 50 or 60 hours, and at that point you're licensed to go fly anytime, anywhere. But it's up to you to know your limits. So yeah, it takes a little time to get confident, and then each airplane you learn to fly lands a little bit different. So you got to keep that in mind as well. So somebody saying they love the cow up here. Yeah, this is my wife's cow. I think I mentioned once before that this was my wife's painting. And it is, however, she did not paint it. So I think a few of you guys took that as meaning she painted it. So I apologize if I misled you guys. My wife purchased the cow. The cow's name is Chocolate Milk. I'm not sure where the name came from, but ask my wife. She could tell you. So anyway, let's see here. I'll answer a couple more, and then I'm going to have to get out of here. Let's see here. Seeing a lot of highs and hellos. Are my passengers ever aware of your YouTube channel so they can check out what went on in the cockpit during their flight? I've only had one passenger actually that knew about the YouTube channel. And he actually wasn't my passenger. He was a client that was flying on one of our airplanes, and he requested that I fly it, but the scheduling didn't work out. So hopefully I'll get to fly that gentleman around at some point. But so far, I've not been recognized by any of our passengers. Maybe someday, but not as of yet. Let's see here. Can one person fly the Hawker? Not legally, no. The Hawker is a two-pilot required airplane. However, like the Gulfstream, a good, competent pilot can operate the airplane single pilot. There are a few controls that are out of reach for one seat or the other. Obviously, most airplanes are designed for left seat operation, but there are some controls, for instance, in the Gulfstream, on the far right side of the cockpit, way over there, there's the the emergency flap handle. So if we need to operate the flaps, if they jam up and we have to use the secondary flap system, the person in the left seat can't reach it. Same thing with the gear dump valve, for instance. It's all the way on the right side of the airplane. The person in the left can't reach it. So as long as the normal gear and flap systems work properly, it's not a big deal. But if they fail and you have to use a secondary system, the person in the left seat can't reach it. And my understanding is that's usually the limitation on being a single pilot or multi-pilot airplane. If the person in the left seat typically can't reach some sort of control, then it cannot be a single pilot airplane. You've got to be able to reach all the controls for all situations in order for it to be a single pilot airplane. So yeah, that's the big thing that keeps us from being single pilot. But I have flown both the Hawker and the Gulfstream in a single pilot capacity with the other person simulating a incapacitation, if you will. So something that we do train for, especially in the simulator, in case the other pilot passes out or has a heart attack. We've got to be prepared to to fly the airplane by ourselves. So let's see here. Michael, how much are the CPL hats? The way I do the hats is $28 for the hats, and then I will do free shipping anywhere in the U.S. So if you're outside the U.S., I've got to add a little bit of extra shipping on there. But anywhere in the U.S., I'll send it to you for free for 28 bucks. So jump over to the website, livecpl.com, and check them out. I am running a little low on some sizes there, so if you missed that earlier, definitely get those orders in before I run out. Let's see here. AirVenture 2019. I am working on this one, guys. I'm trying to get to Oshkosh. I talked to Baron Pilot the other day. It seems he's for sure going. I'm trying to make it happen where I can go. But the problem is I have a few needs for my vacation this year. My wife has a few events that we're going to try to go to, so that's going to kill my vacation time. If I can get a Larion to give me a couple days off without having to use my vacation time, then yes, I will come up to Oshkosh. Probably not the whole week. I'll just stay for 2 or 3 days, and I'll set up a couple meetups with you guys and say hi. So yeah, I will let you know as that develops, but we're still a couple months out. So let's see here. That's really about it. I appreciate you guys coming out for the live video. Yeah, definitely hit that thumbs up, hit that like, subscribe if you're new. Check out the website, and yeah, we're gonna catch up with you guys later on, and I'll let you know when I get over. If I get over to Europe, I'll try and get you guys a live video while I'm over there, and obviously some good footage. So keep living the corporate pilot life, guys, and I will see you guys on the next one. Later.